have any advice for small content creators? I have a lot of advice for small content creators, probably too much to put down in one place, but my advice, first and foremost, will always be start now. Start now, hone your skill. See if you like it. Don't invest a ton of money into it until you know if you like it. And if you don't, like see this as something you want to do forever or something you want to try to like either make your main hobby that you're okay losing money on because you will lose money, or your main hobby that you don't care about like investing in the hopes of making money back, don't do it. Just enjoy like not using a ton of assets and just have fun and treat it as a hobby. My main advice to small content creators is know what you want out of your content. Are you a content creator because you want to succeed, because you want this to be a job, because you want to make money off this? Are you a content creator for that? Because if so, make sacrifices. Do things you don't want to do. Play games that you're not always the most engaged in. Don't ever play something you don't love, or don't ever play something you hate, right? Like, I'm not going to play games I despise or hate, because if I do that, it will show through. But I will play games that I'm not always the most in the mood for. I'll play games when I know I want to be playing something else. Like right now, I want to be playing Elden Ring, but I'll probably put Minecraft on the schedule next week because I know Minecraft's good content. Do I hate Minecraft? No, I fucking love Minecraft. But there are times when I don't get to just indulge in mindless hedonism because it's about being an entertainer and making sure that I play games that facilitate good conversations or good content, not what I want to do and veg out and just play this game and go, oh. If you want to be a content creator because you want to have fun, please do that. Remember that you want to do that. Remember that's why you're doing it, and just have fucking fun. Don't worry about if you're successful. Don't worry about your view count. Don't worry about the money you're making or not making, and just enjoy that. And if you know that that's why you're going into this, then content creation will always be a joy to you no matter what. But if that's not what you want, and you're hemming and hawing, and you're not sure if you want to succeed, or you want it to be a hobby, or if you want to make friends, or you want to make money, then figure the fuck out what you want to do. Because those two things do not go together. You cannot be the guy who sits there and plays back to back to back to back fucking Call of Duty, and is like, cool kill, and then looks at your viewer count and is like, why am at one viewer? Because nobody's going to watch you play that unless you're either the best player in the world, or you're incredibly funny while you're playing it. So either you need to focus on being a creator first, and being comedic and fun and engaging, and having conversations that are interesting or matter, or are passionate and about things you love, or you need to play the game to have fun and play the game and make friends, and that's okay if that's what you want to do. I think a lot of content creators, especially in the indie sphere I've seen, really go into it thinking like, I'm just going to go and play my favorite games and then I'm going to be the next Markiplier. That's not how that works. Markiplier does not fucking like scream in his bedroom by himself when he's playing games. He does not go, oh, did you see that? Did you see that? He's being an entertainer, and that's okay. Like, is that a genuine reaction? Yeah, to a degree, but he's turning up the volume on some of his personality traits that are already there. Don't be fake, right? Don't like fake your personality. But to a degree, he's powering up the parts of his personality that are engaging or interesting. He's letting himself be affected by the content more than he probably otherwise would be, because he knows what's entertaining and what's engaging and what like is going to facilitate a conversation or at least a reaction out of people. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a dirty word. Progress, success, and like amplifying the parts of your personality that are like interesting is not dirty or bad. You're still you. Don't be a fake person, but really emphasize the parts of you that are engaging or fun, right? But if you want this to be a job, you need to focus on the not fun parts too. Numbers, what succeeds, check your metrics, see what people like watching, see what people don't like watching, slide in games that aren't just for you, but are also for your audience. Try to find ways to include your community, try to find ways to make sure that you show people you value them being there. You're never gonna get paid for this as a job in a way that is like a paycheck. You're essentially taking tips if people think your content is worth tipping. And you're not owed that, and they're not owed giving you that money, right? So that makes it like tough because you want to genuinely view the people who watch you as people. You can't ever see them as like an entity. Like, I hate calling you guys chat. And I know a lot of people say this, but you can't like Ori and Sarah Spunda and Jazz and Trekkie aren't like a global fucking conglomerate. They're not like chat, but they're also not my best friends. I have to like carefully toe that line between parasociality and knowing that you guys are individuals and people, and each of you has your own wants and dreams and goals, and I need to respect that, not as some like fucking line of people that are essentially like a faceless wall, but also not as like my best friends that I need to know everything about, because we're not friends, right? I'm not going to get parasocial about this shit. You don't love me. You might love my content. You don't love me. You don't know me. You know what I show you. Just like if we actually knew each other IRL, you still don't know me. No one knows me. I don't know me. You know what I show you. And that's fine. Anyway, I got a little off topic. The point is, know what you want. If you want it to be a career, focus hard on making it a career. Don't let people trick you into thinking progress is a dirty word or thinking about numbers is a dirty word, but don't make that your entire existence. Don't turn this into some disgusting fucking like content mill where you don't view people as people and they're just chat now or they're just a paycheck to you. You got to find the balance to making this something you love and something that you think about critically. But if you just want it to be something you love and you don't ever want to think about those critical things, just do it for fun and to make friends, and that's okay. I think. I mean, obviously, there's different ways to approach it and different mentalities around it. But in my mind, I don't think I could ever be the person who just grinds out paycheck after paycheck and views like everybody who watches me as conglomerate. And you'll still see people who definitely succeed at doing that. You can go over to Twitch or YouTube right now, and there's people with thousands and thousands and thousands of viewers or whatever. And it's like content they don't give a shit about. You can tell they don't give a shit about it. There's ads all over the screen. They don't fucking care who anybody is in their chat. And that's cool if that's what they want to do. And there is a market for that and people will watch that. But people who do want to have a conversation and do want to view things critically and aren't just there for like the most baseline, boring level of like engagement are going to hate you. And I don't want to be that. For me, having a platform has always been about building a level of trust between me and the people that watch me while also keeping a line in the sand of you don't know me and I don't know you. We like each other, okay? We tolerate each other's presence. You like my content. I like having people to talk to and have these thought-provoking conversations with, but we're not best friends. However, I still want to have a level of trust between us where you can trust me to be honest about the way I feel about things and you can trust me to have integrity in the content I create, because I'm not going to give you like bullshit garbage tier content because I wouldn't be okay with myself putting that shit out. It's okay if you do like that content. That's okay. That's not a bad thing. You're not bad if you like your fucking Cocoa Melons or whatever. Go fucking watch it. Have your fun. I don't care. But for me personally, I don't find creative fulfillment doing something like that. I think too many people like try to avoid the topic of streaming in a metatextual sense, and I don't think that's really fair. I don't know, I like thinking about things and puzzling why I do things and why things work the way they do. But I think more indie streamers especially would benefit from genuinely reviewing why they're doing what they do. Especially in the indie market, numbers and thinking about numbers can be a dirty word. You're gonna hear a million times a day like, oh, I don't do it for the numbers. I don't even look at the numbers. Not me. I would never. And I'm like, I get it. Like, yes, that's very cool. That's very noble of you. But A, yes, you do. And B, it's not bad to look at that. You shouldn't expect it. And you shouldn't put that burden on your audience. But understanding it is not bad. Understanding it, observing it, and gearing your content toward what works while still being passionate about what you make is not a bad thing. There's the other side of that too, right? There's the other side of numbers where people are too concerned with it. They're like, oh man, I was only at fucking 2 viewers and usually I'm at 5, or I didn't get a membership today. And I'm like, yeah, I get it if it's your sole source of income. Like, this is my whole job. I understand like being bummed about it, but to be all consumed by it, like when I say I don't look at numbers, I don't mean that I don't look at numbers. I look at my numbers. I understand like when things are doing well and when things are doing poorly, but I don't hyperfixate on it. Like, I don't know the difference between whether or not I'm sitting at like fucking, here, let's look at my numbers. 1 second. I keep the tab closed during the stream, so I don't think about it. But once in a while, I'll take a look. Okay, so we're sitting at about 1,000 people right now, right? So do I look at my numbers to know if something is being vaguely engaging? Yes, but it is entirely a marker. It is a note. It is a like red line on the sand. This is how this content's doing. This is your rough gauge. It is not a you suck at this, or this is bad, or this stream sucks, or they don't like it. It's okay, now I know. And then I close that tab again and I go about my business. It is raw data to input to influence the way I think about content going forward. It is not the end all be all. It is not whether or not I'm having a good time. It is not going to ruin my mood or make my mood. It's just, yeah, it's a barometer, exactly. It's just there to inform how you have received this content. Savan says, I followed a streamer who would stop streaming if he got bummed out about the numbers. He'd also love to shill for subs, and it was so uncomfortable to watch. I think it's easy to get consumed with those things. It's human. It's natural to focus on those things. I'm sure there's over a dozen, maybe 100, maybe 200 people right now who are going to watch this VOD who either already tabbed out or are just now like, hey, this fucking, like, this is like bad advice, or this hurts my feelings, or this hurts my ego personally. Like, it's easy for him to say he's making a living off this, or it's easy for him to say he gets like fucking 700 people to watch him or whatever. Like, of course he feels fine, but it wasn't always that way, first of all. Second of all, I understand, and I'm not damning anybody or judging anybody who does focus on numbers or gets sad if they don't have enough viewers in their own mind for whatever goal they set for themselves, or they don't make enough money, or they don't get enough subs. It's just, you can't cross that line. You lose trust from your viewers, from your audience, from your friends, and you lose trust in yourself. You change it from a hobby and a passion to something that is going to bring you a lot of pain and sorrow if all you're thinking about is the number of people that are watching or the amount of financial success you've had. Like, yes, if it's your job, obviously do what you can to make it successful. It is my job, but don't cross that fucking line where you're turning it into like a giant shill fest, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, you can encourage subs or memberships or whatever, and you should reward that behavior. I mean, I struggle with that too, where I'm like, if somebody throws a membership, you know, I feel like I should at minimum acknowledge that and read it, engage with it in a meaningful way. But on the other hand, I'm like, is that baiting? Is that like being like, oh, you can buy my engagement? And a thing that comes with a bigger platform like this is understanding that some people do just want that engagement at any cost and will hurt themselves financially or try to buy it from you. And being mindful of that is really hard for me because I feel like my gut instinct is to always engage with people who put money down. Because again, as a digital busker, I'm like, well, they took the time out to support me. That deserves some sort of like reward. It's not like, I don't want to be a person who's constantly baiting that or feels like I'm trying to get you to, like, the only way you can engage with me is if you drop memberships. I want to feel like I'm reading everybody in chat if I can, when I can. But on the other hand, I don't want to just be like, well, fuck you. I know you supported me, but you're not more special than anybody else, because that's shitty. So finding that balance is tough. Anyway, don't ever let that balance tip over. Don't make it all about money or all about viewership. It won't be good. You won't like it. They won't like it. Moving on. Let's answer some more questions, shall we?